As you know, I saw Birds of Prey over the weekend, and if you watched my review, I thought the film was terrible. I truly did. It was all over the place in terms of direction, but there again, it was directed by somebody who has little to no experience of big budget Hollywood films. The characters didn't resemble anything or very little as to their actual source material, but there again, it was written, once again, by somebody who either didn't know or care about the source material of these characters, once more, with little to no experience of writing major movies. It was unfunny, and I think the worst thing about it was boring for the most part. But that hasn't stopped the internet from going nuclear as regards to the blame game, while simply ignoring what is right in front of their faces. Oh shit, here we go again. Hi everyone, it's somebody who is rapidly losing faith in humankind by the second here, from HeelvsBabyface. Oh my lordy. So you've heard what I opened up with. And one thing which I wanted to leave to now, because I want to discuss it a little bit further, was this movie was called Birds of Prey, The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. The title is fucking stupid. Absolutely stupid. But the main thing is, this film had nothing to do with Birds of Prey. Spoilers, not that anyone gives a shit. But right at the end of the film, and I'm not talking with a few minutes left, or 10 minutes left, or 15 minutes. The last thing of the film, when Harley Quinn is giving her final voiceover, is when Huntress, Renee Montoya, and Black Canary form the Birds of Prey. Because Cassandra and Harley Quinn have gone off to be bad guys again. Because Harley's bad, then she's good, then she's bad, then she's good, then she's bad. In the film. Because it's a fucking mess. But never mind. So the film doesn't actually resemble anything whatsoever to do with Birds of Prey. The writer, who has no understanding of the source material clearly, and I say clearly because of the way that she portrays the characters in this, that have no relation whatsoever to their comic counterparts other than their name, and that is it. Just thought, oh, what's an all-female thing that they do in DC? And somebody went, Birds of Prey. We'll call it Birds of Prey then. I'm pretty sure, I mean like 99.9% sure, that's how it went down. And so, we have this mess of a movie. But guess what? It's not the obvious that's at fault. It's not Cathy Yen who's at fault, who has 5 director credits to her name in 7 years. It's not her fault. Somebody who's got little to no experience of directing, particularly big budget films. And it's not the writer, Christina Hodgson's fault, who again has barely any credentials when it comes to writing. Birds of Prey, Bumblebee, Unforgettable, and Shut In. 4 things in 4 years. And she's been gifted The Flash and Batgirl. Well, we'll have to see if they come to pass now. So these are very obvious red alerts. And just for anyone out there, I would say exactly the same thing if they were men. Exactly the same thing. I don't give 2 shits about your gender. What I care about is that the project's fun. That the film's fun or enjoyable, or it's got a really good story, really tight characters, or it's very serious and gritty, or whatever theme you want to go with, as long as it's done well, written well, cast well, acted well, I'm on board. I'm on board. But I think it's fair to say that this was a project that was used to virtue signal, and it's backfired. because the people simply didn't have the experience or, in this case, the knowledge to put out a good film. However, of course, you can't blame the women's. You can't. It's 2020. It has to be the man's fault. For people who want emancipation, it's incredible how much they rely on men to take the blame. Never mind. So, Jerry Conway, who's the co-creator of Punisher, Firestorm, Power Girl, Vixen, and Ms. Marvel, has this outstandingly bad take. And I'm not even convinced that Jerry has seen Birds of Prey. But that's just by the by. So he starts off with, I'm so disappointed by Birds of Prey box office and what it says about the male audience for superhero films. Now, immediately, this is an incredibly large leap. Because the planet is roughly, give or take, 50-50 male-female. So why is it men's fault for the failure of this film? Where are all the women packing out the cinemas with their empowerment movie? Where are they all? I mean, I can only give my personal experience. And when I went to the cinema, there were 8 of us in the theatre. There was me and my mate, who, let's just be honest, were looking like a gay couple. And there was a couple, and a couple. So there were 5 guys and 3 women's. Which is pretty much how many people saw the film. I joke! Please get on Twitter and start getting mad. But where are all the women packing out the theatres? This is their movie. This is the emancipation of Harley Quinn. This is the female empowerment movie they've all been waiting for. No, oh wait, no, it's a big marketing ploy to try and get money off people. To try and pander to the female demographic by patronising them to think this is how they should feel empowered. Whereas in reality, this is not how men and women exist. But it's okay, because Hollywood doesn't live in reality, as we clearly see from all the speeches at the Oscars and the Golden Globes and shit. He continues, here's my controversial take, don't hate me's. Jerry, I don't hate you at all, dude. I don't hate you. I've got a lot of respect for the work that you've done. I think you're a bellend, and I think this take is absolutely fucking stupid. And just while you're at it, Jerry, let's just have a look at one of the characters you created, shall we? There's Power Girl, folks. There's his female empowerment. Power Girl. Oh, but it was a different time. Was it a different time, Jerry? Was it a different time? Were you forced? Were you chained to create sexy-looking women in the fantasy genre? Because remember, folks, this is fantasy, not reality. Fantasy. It's like going into the bedroom with your girlfriend and saying, hey, how would you like it if I dressed up as Batman tonight? And she said, no, that's not very realistic. I mean, you've got a gut and you don't have a six-pack and you don't have the muscles for it. I think it'd be more realistic if you actually dressed up as a postman. Can you dress up as a postman tonight? That's the difference between reality and fantasy. And when you create a character like this, you're saying to your audience, your target audience, a target audience which in today's day and age, by the way, has been utterly forgotten about, because now instead of catering to that target audience, let's cater to a non-existent audience. All for the sake of patting ourselves on the back and saying, aren't we so progressive? Meanwhile, you go broke. God, this video is spiraling out of control, not where I wanted it. But you say, hey guys, how would you like this beautiful looking woman who isn't just attractive with big norks, but she's also incredibly strong, has amazing superpowers. She's basically an amalgamation of Supergirl and Superman, probably. She's the cousin and she's got all of this. So she's not just sexy, but she's smart and strong. How does that appeal to you? Well, you know. Looks, brains, got the powers. Okay. But no. Stick her in a burqa. Stick her in a burqa, that's who it should be next. Stop looking at her! Fucking hell. And if you don't buy this comic, you're a misogynist and a sexist and a racist. Oh, fuck me. Oh, sorry, that's Marvel Comics now. The movie didn't pull teenage boys. It's an R-rated movie, isn't it? Okay, never mind. Didn't pull teenage boys because Margot Robbie didn't want Harley Quinn to be sexualized as she was in Suicide Squad. Oh, can't say that's first word. Squad. Right, that is it. No, Jerry, you've hit the nail on the head. Teenage boys all around the world, they got together, that they formed their own Justice League. But it wasn't called the Justice League, it was called Tits Out for the Lads League. And they all got together, these millions of teenage boys, and they all said, hey, we are not going to see this film. We are not going to see this film on the principle that it does not conform to our male gaze. Can I get a harump? Harump, 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 harump. Twatter is poison. Somebody please shut this site down. The world, and it's not an exaggeration, will become a better place immediately with this thing wiped off the face of the earth. It's just a breeding ground for morons and weirdos, shall we just say. It's horribly shallow. I mean, that's a hell of a leap that you even got there, Jerry, but never mind. Carry on with your horrendously bad take that got ratioed down to the ground. It's horribly shallow, but there we are. I'll bet much of Harley Quinn's appeal for young men in Suicide Squad was the hypersexualization of her body in a midriff shirt and shorts that emphasized her buttocks and legs. Oh, fucking woe is me. Woe is fucking me, for I am undone. A woman in current day looked sexy. Oh my god. I mean, forget that there was loads of other characters in Suicide Squad. No, everybody just turned up to watch Harley Quinn in hot pants. That was it. Every review. Suicide Squad was, well, I don't know what movie it was, because all I was doing was looking at Harley Quinn in her tidy whities. I feel that the world has tipped over the edge now. That people have tipped over the edge. They have just gone full retard. And I got to say the word. Because that's what I think. It's like the logical side of their brain has just been switched off. And they're just allowed to roam free on Twitter and places like this, screaming out the most horrendous takes, hoping for validation from like-minded weirdos. To her credit, Robbie wanted to attack that. Yeah, she wanted to attack those hot pants. God damn it! I will wear dungarees. And I will look as unsexy and as appealing as possible. The result was a complete desexualization of Harley in Birds. So much so that we even see her in baggy overalls and baggy pajamas, etc. throughout. Her fellow birds are also desexualized. Wrong! Wrong. Black Canary has her waps out for virtually the whole film. Banging all over the place. Big chicken fillets up here. The whole film. I'm amazed. And I say amazed. They managed to stay in their brassiere. Holy shit. In the abstract and political... in the abstract and politically, this is good. Actually, Jerry, I take it back. I do hate you. I think you're an idiot. I'm only joking. Kind of. But superhero movies, unfortunately, depend a large part on their audience of young men. And without special powers or a truly mind-bending set of special effects, what would draw young men to see Birds of Prey if there's no, TNA? It's crass, horrible, shallow! Maybe the film was just shit, Jerry. Did you ever think that? No, of course can't. Because women's can't do bad. Unprepared and didn't give a flying fuck about the source material. But don't worry, it's teenage boys' fault because they just want to turn up to the cinema and have a fucking good old Tommy Tank. Oh, this is why I come to the cinema. Sorry, Mum, just going to have to, sit there in embarrassment as I whack one off to Harley Quinn and Hot Pants. So that's all right. This is what boys do at the cinema. Wickety whackety whack whack. God, this video is so demonetized. Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman were hits because they provided superhero powers, big special effects, and beautiful women who look good in tight-fitting outfits. To her credit, Margot Robbie wanted to challenge the need for any of that. Wonder Woman was actually a fun film. The special effects which came at the end were a complete mess, and the vast majority of people agree that the ending of Wonder Woman was actually just a big mess. The fight with Ares. The reason why Wonder Woman was a good film is because there was great chemistry between her and... I want to say Chris Evans. It's not Chris Evans. It's... I'll get there. Chris Pine! Woo! It's Chris Pine. So she had great chemistry with Chris Pine. It was fun. It was a good romp. There was great little bits of humour in there, as well as the serious stuff. And it was, for the most part, a very enjoyable film. But no, it's because Gal Gadot looks great in her outfit, which she does. Do not get me wrong. Or maybe it was just a good film. Maybe word of mouth spread that it was actually a good film. And so people were happy to go to the cinema and watch. Because it looked decent on the trailers. And it turned out to be decent in completion. Whereas Birds of Prey looked like a hot fucking dumpster fire in its trailers. A complete mess beyond all proportions. Who you had to ask the question, who exactly is this film for? And when you saw it, exactly the same question. Who's this for? Because this is shit. This is clearly not for guys. This doesn't appear to be for women. It appears to be, maybe, for a small section of sub-intelligent people who think that running around going, oh my god, fucking fuck, is what women's want in the current day. Jerry, please shut up. Shut up. Unfortunately, what she may have proved, who can say, off one movie, is that the male audience for superhero movies isn't as mature as we'd like to hope, and the female audience isn't large enough to compensate, even though the ratio of men to women is 50-50 around the planet, Jerry. But don't worry about it. And what are you trying to say as well? You're trying to say, actually, that there are much more men in the comic book or the geek industry than there are women. A lot of women seem to turn out for Wonder Woman. A lot of guys turned out for Wonder Woman. Same with Captain Marvel. I personally haven't seen it, don't intend to. But it seems to get a pretty good cross balance between the two. But hey, it's men's fault. Jerry, you're an idiot. I don't hate you. But you are an idiot, and this is a monumentally piss-poor take. I know this video is getting on, folks, but I've obviously had to get a lot off my chest. Then, of course, yesterday we had Warner Brothers blaming the coronavirus. Even though it's the domestic which has failed miserably, and it doesn't even have a release window for China, somehow it managed to be the coronavirus's fault. Fucking idiots. And then last night, the news came out that America Cinemas are actually changing the name of the film from Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, to Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Even though, again, this has nothing to do with Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey started off with Black Canary and Oracle. And that's the hilarity of it, because Oracle is actually disabled. she's the former Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, who was shot and disabled by the Joker. So you had Black Canary, who was the muscle, and then you had Barbara Gordon, Oracle, who was the brains. So you had the two of them, Oracle behind the computer desk, Black Canary out in the field. There was a great little dynamic between the two and a great relationship built up between them. And then, because the character of Oracle became so popular, they actually spread her out and she just didn't become the tech support or the go-to person for information for the Bat family. She was the go-to person for the whole of the DC characters, the whole of the DC universe. And then they decided to take her out the wheelchair and put her back as Batgirl, which pissed a lot of people off because they had a really good character, and she was very well written indeed, with clearly this impediment with being wheelchair bound, but had compensated from her physical prowess to now mental prowess. And she had the great relationship still with Dick Grayson. They were still very much in love with each other, even if times they were going their separate ways. There was always that wonderful dynamic between the two of them. Then Huntress came along and joined the party, and it became Black Canary, Huntress, and Oracle. And Huntress was a little bit of a wild card because Huntress is a very insular person in the comics. She's got a lot of issues, and to be honest with you, she's got quite a lot of daddy issues. She kind of looks up to Batman almost as a surrogate father figure. She's constantly looking to impress him, but she goes around about it the wrong way, a manner in which actually pisses off Batman more often than not. There was a very interesting dynamic between these characters. And in No Man's Land, oh fuck it, hey, Christina, you're paying attention. It's called knowing your fucking source material. And in No Man's Land, the Batgirl that turns up there, which turns out later to be Cassandra Cain, was actually originally Huntress. She was the one that donned the costume, and because she knew that people recognized her, that's why she stitched up the mouth area. Because she knew if that was exposed, Batman would know who she was. But Batman already knew who she was. Why? Because he could read her fighting style. So he already knew. She thought she was playing the hero game. She was like, I can be the hero he wants. I can be part of this Bat team, this Bat family. But she fucked up again. And so he took the mantle off her. You're not worthy enough to wear this. Pissing her off even more. Again, fracturing this dynamic even more and making it even more interesting. And then Cassandra Cain comes along, who was mute at the time, but she was incredibly well trained. And because she couldn't communicate verbally, she was excellent at reading people. Body language. What are people going to do? She can see from the inflections in their body how they are, whether they're aggressive, friendly, or whether they're going to attack, how they're going to attack. Which made her an exceedingly good fighter. And in proving herself, Batman gave her the Batgirl costume. The one with the zipped up mouth, which kind of suited Cassandra Cain because she was mute. And now she started to speak, but she can only speak in, fractured language to start with. It took her a long time, just little words here or there. Really interesting character. She was Batgirl for a while, then she wasn't Batgirl, then she went her own way, then she became Orphan, she created the Orphan persona. Stop me, Christine, if you've heard any of this. Oh no, wait, you haven't. Because you haven't got a clue about your source material. But no, in Birds of Prey, she's a dumpy little Asian kid that just goes around pickpocketing stuff. Because they just wanted an Asian kid in the film. Because this film wasn't made with good intentions. This film wasn't made with the intention of truly entertaining an audience. It was a film that was created by mean-spirited people in a mean spirit. And Jerry confirms that with his absolutely horrific rant. Let's stick it to our target audience. Let's stick it to them. Let's stick it to the people for decades and decades have kept our industry going. Let's stick it to them. Sorry. It's quite clear this has been building up inside me for a little while now. But I'm just sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired of having to take the blame or having the blame pointed in my general direction more often than not. When it's people like myself who've been collecting comics since 1992, who get the merchandise, who get everything, that are actually keeping this industry going, while the big fucking mouths who virtue signal don't buy shit, don't do shit, don't contribute shit. They just want to tear it down. Tear it all down. Let's get rid of another thing that they like. Because they are just disgusting, horrible, vitriol-ridden pusses of human beings. I've got no merch to flog, but this is totally getting yellowed. So I can't point you at a Teespring down below. Whatever. So there we go, folks. Hope you enjoyed the absolute rant. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.